welcome to the Black and White Sessions. We are so excited today to have the lovely and talented Kamilah Marshall.
Hi, babe.
How are you?
I'm so good. How are you?
I'm great. I'm so glad you're here.
I'm so happy to be here.
I mean, I feel like it's one of these things. She's all over the place, but you're in New York a lot, and we caught you in town for a week, and I'm just thrilled that it worked out for you to join us for these sessions.
Me too. I've been watching for so long, just kind of watching through the window like, I want to do it too.
Well, we're glad you did. And while we're talking about that, let's just jump into that, because you and I were chatting a little bit about singers that have come into this booth and given of their time and their talent, and how, you know, it's funny that people just assume, oh, sure, because I'm a singer, I'd love to come and get in there.
Yeah.
But there is something about it that is very exposed, and something it's very intimate.
Yeah.
And as a singer, you know, what was that process like for you to think, oh yeah, I'm going to come and do this with the, you know?
Well, it wasn't that easy. It wasn't like, oh, I'm just going to come and do my song. It was definitely, there was a lot of nervousness happening, because you just feel like it's in the booth, it's one take, you know what I mean? It's straight through take, there's no punching in like sessions. Yeah. And so there's, you know, a real vulnerability that happens, you know, as obviously when you do background singing, you're kind of, you know, in the back a little bit. And when you do session singing, nobody really gets to see you. So this is kind of like you're seeing me, you're hearing me on this microphone close, and it really is a little nerve-wracking. But I think for me, it's kind of like, you know, I've learned over time, somebody told me that you put your ego aside, and, you know, that somebody else might need this. Somebody else might need your song for that day. Somebody needs, you know, the gift that you've been given. And so I just really try to kind of push that ego aside and get in there and you know, use the gift that God gave me.
Well, and I love too that it's like pushing past a fear. It's not allowing fear to rule you in that way. Like you're able to say, okay, I'm freaking out a little bit, but I'm going to step forward into it.
Yeah, I just did an interview and I said a little nervousness is good, you know. That means that you love what you do, you want to get it right, you know. So I think a little fear is good. I've definitely always been a person that has kind of walked into my fear, you know, stood on the sideline for a minute kind of thinking, okay, this is scary, this is terrifying, I don't really want to get in that booth and do it. Right. But you know, at the same time, I really do, you know, I really want to. So it's just kind of like pushing past the fear and walking through it, you know.
Well, and so we'll just go right off of that into talking a little bit about, I mean, obviously that has served you well over time. You have been in this business for a few minutes, and I know, let's go back a little bit. I know Teron Brooks was here last season, and I know you guys are great friends. Yes. And you both worked together in the original cast, right, of Hairspray. And then you went on to do some other shows on Broadway and whatnot. You've kind of really run the gamut of genres and artists and things like that. I know that was kind of a launch for you. Would you say that was kind of the beginning, or was there more before that?
No, that was the beginning. I think when I was young, I always wanted to go to Broadway. I don't think I ever saw myself as, you know, singing backup or session singer or anything like that. I really just wanted to do theater. And getting to do that and experience that was wonderful. And I guess the first break from that was when I auditioned for Bette Midler, to be a harlot for Bette Midler. And we had just finished the Tonys with Hairspray, and it was a very, very exciting time. And I got this audition and kind of went to audition for her, and I could not believe I get it. That was really a dream come true.
Of course, because it just feels, you know, she's just American legend, really, is what she is. And so, can you talk a little bit about that, just in the sense of, with the other singers, like, did you come in as the new girl, or was everybody new, or what did that look like?
She had hired 3 new girls all at the same time, so she was kind of starting fresh, and we all went through an extremely rigorous audition. It was like learning 3 different types of dance, like a salsa kind of number, a musical theater number, a hip-hop number, and then we sang a bunch of her songs. We had to sing our own song. And the funny thing about this audition in particular is we had to tell a funny joke to her. And my heart stopped with that whole idea because I thought, she's Bette Midler, she is the comedian of all comedians, and how am I going to make her laugh? You know,
You're like, knock.
and she just sat in there those auditions. I mean, one girl had her dog. She had her dog in like a baby carrier, and I was like, I don't know what joke that is, but you probably got the job. She didn't, however, but I thought that was really good. So we had to go through like a week's worth of just music and dancing again and music again and the jokes and this and that. So by the time that was over and I actually got the job, I was like, I worked hard to get this job.
Yes.
It's a lot going on.
Yes.
But the other girls were great. We all kind of came up in that. We were new together and came up together. So
That's so
nice,
great.
yeah.
And you've continued to work with her over the years.
Yeah, I did
has
7
been
years
great.
with her.
Yeah, that's a long time.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you just built a lot of great relationships and a lot of great memories out of that.
Yeah.
So you have to help me with the timeline a little bit, because I know that you've been working with Taylor Swift since 2013.
Mm-hmm.
Is that 2 world tours? Or is
Yes.
that, or 2 plus?
Yeah.
A little
Yeah.
bit, I guess. And you've done all the press tour stuff when you've done the award shows and things like
Right.
that over the years. So did you end your run with Bette in order to go into the Taylor Swift run, or did it overlap?
I did Bette. We closed Caesar's Palace. And then I worked for Matthew Morrison from Glee.
Mm-hmm.
We went on tour with New Kids on the Block and Backstreet Boys.
Oh, yes.
Oh my gosh. It was the best summer of my life. And then
Your childhood dreams all came true.
Absolutely. I did that, and I worked for Sergio Mendes.
Oh,
I did
yes.
a European tour with Sergio Mendes for a while, and then after that is kind of when I got Taylor. So
Okay.
yeah, it's been kind of a long journey. As a matter of fact, after Bette Midler ended in Vegas, there was a part of me that was kind of like, do I go back to Broadway? I mean, I've been with her for 7 years. Am I a backup singer now? Do I go back to I was kind of in the midst of doing my own project, and I didn't really know how that was going to work out. And at some point, it was just like the Matt gig came, and Sergio came, and Taylor came, and so then it was just like, now I'm just
You're like, here I am. This is what you're doing.
I'll take whatever.
But the beauty of it is, I feel like, because you kind of came from this Broadway world, really, and I don't feel like, at least for me personally, I hear that much about vocalists that work in the Broadway world kind of coming out of that into world tours with pop stars or country stars or, Bette Midlers or, so it's kind of been a great situation that God's really opened doors for you to kind of do a lot of different things.
Absolutely.
And you did the Hairspray live on NBC.
I did.
Did you reprise your original role?
I did, and that was just, talk about a blessing. It was out of the blue. I wasn't expecting to be in it at all, and then they called and said they wanted to bring the 3 original Dynamites, and that was just the most fun. It was the most fun. Being back with the original choreographer and
So
singing
great.
that music that I love so much. But just with old friends and then the new people who were on Ariana Grande and Jennifer Hudson and having Harvey Fierstein back, it was pretty phenomenal experience.
Oh, it probably felt like a full circle moment for
Yeah,
you,
absolutely.
That's so fantastic.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about your artistry, because somewhere along the way, and we've talked about this a little bit, about when you are a background singer, it's not completely foreign to lose a little bit of yourself as an artist, or kind of lose your way in knowing like who you are as a vocalist or what your voice even is anymore, because you've gotten so into melding it into whatever style you're doing. But you chose, in the midst of all of this insanity, to pursue Gypsy Moonshine, yes? Mm-hmm. And tell me a little bit about why you decided at this point in your career to kind of do that, and what is that about?
I did it because I was actually terrified to do my own record, and for a long time I really was just kind of pushing that away, going, that's not my thing, I'm not trying to be a star like that, and I really do enjoy being support for artists. But I really felt like it was something, it was just being told, like I always say, that, you know, God is speaking to you, and when it's something you don't want to do, it's probably the thing that you should be doing.
Yeah.
And so that kind of came up for me a bunch of times, and at some point I was like, I guess I'm doing this record. So I did it, and it was really a time for me to kind of come into my voice and come into just me as learning to songwrite, experiencing what that was, and experiencing creating, because a lot of times I'm kind of executing what other people do. So that was what it was for me, and then I did put it away for a while. It took a lot out of me, but now I just kind of write all the time, so I don't lose that muscle of writing, you know, because when you stop for a while, it becomes scary to kind of get back on the horse.
Yeah, that's right.
And now I'm just writing all the time, and it's, I have just new stuff in a bluesy, kind of bluesy, soulful vein that I'm kind of going for.
Yeah.
And just getting out there and gigging. And I don't really know what it's for yet, you know. I can't really say that it's for the masses or what my end goal is. I just know that I'm enjoying creating and writing my own stuff.
I love that.
Really
That's so
excited.
great. Well, that's really the definition of artistry, and you know, in all facets of creativity, really. So, I love that you're here. Can I just say that it's just like, I feel like, you know, just this wave of just inspiration came in today, and I'm so glad that you came and joined us for a black and white session, and we just wish you all the best in everything that you're doing.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yay. We'll see you guys later.
Bye.